Hea aku o ma eli eli, he kupa o ka aina. He hale, he ai, he I ano kako. I laila I ke aku ai. Ka nani ka maha o Hawaii loa. Mei ana ka aina I ka nani puaha. Ulu pei ka egu kai o malulani. Ku'u aina hana. Ku'u aina hana. Ku'u aina hana. So we come now to the third verse. And the third verse says, He aku o ma eli eli he kupa o ka aina. He hale, he ai, he I ano kākou. I laila, I ike aku ai. Ka nani kamahao o Hawaii loa. So the place names are Ma Eli Eli and Pu'u Hawaii loa. So you have Pu'u Ma Eli Eli that rises above, behind of He'eiakea, and then across the kai moana, what you have is Pu'u Hawaii loa that is in Mo'okapu, and at Pu'u Hawaii loa, that rises up right there on the side of Mo'okapu that faces He'eia, because it is part of the ahupua of He'eia. So our ahupua goes Mauka, Makai, Lalawa kuno, Ahikia Mo'okapu, Mo'okapu, he lala no ke la aina no Ilipahano no He'eia, the ahupua of He'eia. All right. He aku o ma eli eli calls out. Ma eli no he kupa o ke ia aina, and ma eli is a kupa of this land. Ma eli is not only from He'eia. Ma eli has history and knowledge of He'eia because no He'eia no pu'u ma eli. Like ma eli is like a native that comes from that area there. So when people come and they go through He'eia, Ayo no o pu'u ma eli aloha mai kā'ua, there's pu'u ma eli aloha no. And then the meaning, ma eli, that means profound. That's like when you go there, when you go to pu'u ma eli, and now I know a lot of people hike through there. They should not be hiking through there because they have to malamapono. Nui na kapu o ke la aina. O na kapu, he mea nui no ka ma eli no o ke la aina. They don't realize that inside there, nui no na heiau gets so much heiau. So much ko'a and shrine. So much ahu inside there, the kupuna when built. Kukulo no lako na kupuna o ke la wā kahiko hiko. He mau heiau, he mau ahu, he mau ko'a. Aya no ke ia mau mea, ilu no ke la aina. So behind there, get all these things in secret places. Some visible, some not visible. Some wakado no lako, iloko o ka aina, o ia ke ano o lako. Ko o hunano lako, I ka mano o ke la aina. Me ke kano ano o ke ia mau mea, iloko o ke la aina. So, that's the profoundness, what we call the ma eli. The kapu no o ke la aina. I ke ia mau mea, o na po e kupuna. O mana no lako, po haku. O mana po haku. O ke ano o ke la mau kanaka, ke la mau kupuna. Alo no mako na mo opuna. Ke kahi mau po haku. Na kupuna no e hawi mai no iau. Po haku no ka maalama ana. So the people there, they kind of had a connection to the stone, a connection to the aina. Why wouldn't they? Their kupuna buried in the aina. Their kupuna become the aina. And because their kupuna were buried in the aina, and because their kupuna become the aina, then they are one with their kupuna in the aina. That's why if you let go, makamaka no oko e ho'okomo i kela aina, hele no oko, me he iwi hanau o kela aina, you let go on that land, you better go with one iwi hanau, one person born from that land, because that land, mana get plenty authority, plenty energy, plenty power. I told you the story of they would take one kahuna and kokua mai no ya mako, somebody went call because so many people there, they commit suicide over there. They go ikela aina and they alakama aina, they're not from there and they don't know, and then something happens, maybe lapu vale, maybe uhane hele no kahana ino no olako, this thing come and bother them, and then ka ho'o hia no akama, ho'o hia no akama na'o, huli no i ka o hena i ka pupule ano no, maupe o ke la, lave no ka ola i ka luku ana ya iho. They commit suicide. Au e KeʻAloha e. But the kamaaina, the kupaaina, the hanau o ka aina, ale pilikia, hiki no ia lako ke komo. Hiki no ia mako wa kamaiki, hiki no i ke la aina. But even though we could go, we get the licking of our life, when we come back, because kupuna knows we can go to the heiau, we can go bara ahu, we can go all these kind of places. Lickings on the way. Have to, You cannot get away from that. Because Tutu always said, malame I kou kuleana. O ke la aina, kapunono na po e kupuna. No ho'oi pipili no I ka hale, pipili I ki ia aina. Ina hele oi e maha oi I ke la aina, na kupuna no, ho'oponopono no ia oi. Lilo paha no, I ka piva a me ka mai, au e KeʻAloha e. You going over there, you go visit the heiau, that's not your kuleana. And then your aumakua nuha, lako huhu no lako me oi. You're going to get nuha and huhu with you. And then what? You're going to get fever, maybe you're going to get ma'i. And so the old way, of those kupuna o kela aina, na lako no kahanai mai ana ya mako. You go over there, you're going to get licking. Hili ia me kala au. Hili na kupuna ya mako na mo'opuna me kala au no ka mako hua ka I hele e nana I ka heiau, me ka ahua me ke koa. Au e KeʻAloha e. No ke aha, why did we get all that licking when we went to those places? It's because maybe we're not ready. Maybe we're not prepared. Maybe we don't know the kahea. We don't know the pule. And we kamaiki. So we have to get licking. Licking is not our punishment, but licking is also the apology to the aumakua. That the living kupuna, the representative of the aumakua, took responsibility and when correct us, ho'oponopono mai ia mako. Before the aumakua ho'oponopono me ka ma'i ka piva, before the aumakua come and give the ma'i and the fever. So you get the licking, I would rather take the licking. The licking only lasts a little bit, only short time. And when they hit you with the stick, hit it, and then you run, and they run after you, they hit you again, and you run, and they hit you one more time. And at the end, you just laugh, but soar. But that's how we dealt with it as children. And because when Tutu give you that kind of hiliana, mekala'au, same time they do the pule, they do the kahea, the mihi. The mihi no na aumakua no ko ho'oku ano o ke ia hewa. I hana ia no e na mo'opuna. Ke ano o lako na kupuna, nui no ka iki o lako, ka pili no o lako, I ka pono, me na kupuna kahi ko me na aumakua me ke akua. And that was, their connection, their true connection to the old way. Not like today, like mau popo ka hapanui o na Hawaii, ke ia mau hao na po e kupuna wa mamua, ka hao na kupuna o ke ia aina o he e ia. Yeah. Because, Tutu always said, yeah, hele oi meka ni ele, hele oi meka maha oi, e malama pono I ko hele ana. Ale oi I malama pono, he e ia, na lo wale ia, pehela. You go maha oi, you go ni ele, bamba, you gonna get lost. We not can find you. That's why you gotta get leaked. That's the way. That is the way. That is truly the old way. Very simple, very clear, very forthright. That's the pono, the order, the perfect order, the proper order. Yeah. And we were raised with that, we understood that, and that was our life. So Ma'eli Eli is a very sacred place. Kapukela Aina, I tell you, that's a very sacred kapu place. Now, he hale he ai he ia no kako. When you come to he ia, yeah, the people call out, Aloha mai, aloha mai. He hale he ai he ia no. He ia no kako, pa ina pu kako, pu pa akai no. He hale he ai he ia no kako, pa ina pu kako, pu pa akai no. I get house, I get fish, I get poi. Come on, let's come together, we go eat, let's share some salt. Oyo no ke kahea o na kupulo o ke na aina. Especially when we hold kipa aku no kela ohana ke ia ohana ke kahi. Remember, they call us, because we lived upper He'eia, they call us the Kukuahivi, ka ohana Kukuahivi, and then the people below, they're the ohana Kukahakai, and then the ohana that live in the lowlands, they're the Ku, you get the Kukuahivi, you get the Kukahakai, and you get the Kula lands, yeah? So us, we upper Haiku Road, close to Waipau, we was the Ohana Kukuahivi. Then the people that live by the ocean, the Ohana Kukahakai. But Kimo Adams and family, they live on the lower Kula land, they're the Ohana Kukula, you see? And that's how the terms that they use for one another, you see, about where we live, because you got to connect to the land. And everybody was connected to the land, not only by the blood, not only by the bones and the flesh, but by the different areas, yeah? That's why they call them Ili. And the Moku. And the Ahu. Everything connected by the words. You see? And like I said earlier, yeah, in part 2, or part 1, when we lose the terminology, yeah, we lose the pilina to the terminology. So we have to use the terminology to reinstill the connection, so that we so we can bring back that authority, that power within all ourselves. We cannot not do that. We have to see value in that. Hewai vai nui kapono o nā kupuna e. Hewai hanai no nā oha e. So, the pono of our kupuna is of such great value. It is what feeds the next generation. It is the ike. And we have to malama me ka pono ka ike o nā poe kupuna. Ila au I ike aku ai. And that's not only where I saw, that's also where I understood. And that's also where I received this ike kupuna. I ka NANI ka mahao o Hawaii loa, in the beauty, the astonishing beauty, this form of this most amazing in my spirit, amazing in my thoughts, just the feeling in my whole body, because Pu'u Hawaii loa, which is in the Ahupua'a of He'eia, which now sits at the Kaneohe Marine Air Corps Station, that is part of He'eia, is where legends say the gods created the first man and the first woman. According to that legend, yeah, Ku, Kane, Lono, and Kanaloa gathered there on Pu'u Hawaii Loa. Great Hawaii, Hawaii Loa. The hill, the Pu'u, Hawaii Loa. Great Hawaii. And there, from the earth, yeah, they went, Hulino la ko I kahonua. Hulino la kahonua ki ia aina o Mololani. Na keakua no I Mololani, huli kahonua. That's very beautiful. The ancient gods at Mololani, where everything was turning or churning by the heavenly beings, they went huli the honua. They went turn the earth, and from the earth, in the form of the akuakane, they would make the shape of the first man. And, of course, Kumuhonua, they call in some genealogy, the source of the earth. He was created from the earth, from Papahanaumoku. And then, Hulihonua, because Imololani, Kamoloana, Enalani Akua, a Hulikahonua, a Ho'okumu, Iamai o Kane. Kane, Kamakua Mualoa. So they created Hulihonua, the first Kane Mualoa, the first man, the father, yeah, of our people. So, man alone couldn't mahuahua. How man going mahuahua and lupa no kalahui o Hawaii? Man need the counterpart. Where he gonna plant the hua, the seed, no ka mahuahua ana, so can hanau keiki. He need wahine. So, when Kane Hulihonua when ku'i luna, in the sun, it cast a beautiful shadow of his image. Where the shadow was on the earth, Papahanaumoku. So the gods took that shadow that was beautifully displayed on Papahanaumoku, and they captured it and they created the first woman. And she became Keaka, the shadow. Keaka o Hulihonua, the shadow of Hulihonua. Of who? Kane Hulihonua. Kane Hulihonua, Keaka Hulihonua. Or Keaka Hulilani, Keaka that was transformed by the gods. The shadow that was transformed by the gods. You know, and people say, oh, how true is this story? I don't question any of the stories of my kupuna. It is what it is. I accept and I perpetuate. I teach and I share. I'm not going to try discern. That's not my kuleana to discern. Oh no. What is my kuleana? Ho'olohe. Ho'opili. Ho'oponopono. Ma'alama mekapono. That's all. If I can discern everything, who gave me that kuleana? That's niele, as being mahaoi. If they say that's what happened, that's what happened. No tell me we came from China or wherever else they say. Scientists said. That's the scientists. That's not our science. That's their science. Nobody gotta listen. I don't care. I don't care what you're gonna tell me. I know who my kupuna are. I come from Papa and Vakia. I come from Ho'okukalani. I come from Haloa. Haloa ke kaloa me haloa ke kanaka. I come from Kane, Hulihonua, and Keaka, Hulihonua. I come from that. I don't need to know anything else. Why? Because the olelo o nā kupuna is the olelo pono. Ka olelo o nā kanaka e no, yeah? That's not the pono. Because you're not pili koko me a'u. Because at the end of the day, I still kanaka maoli. At the end of the day, I kanaka maoli because I trust in the history of our kupuna. Not of scientists, no. Not of the mea polopeta, not of professors, no. Of kupuna. And I will always stand on the side of our kupuna. Ke aloha nui a o kau.